We've got a 27-page financial document, and we're going to break it all down. We're going to demystify this thing called Protection Plus, so you know exactly how it works, what it does, and what it means for you.
And this question really gets to the core of what we're talking about. I mean, for most of us, financial planning is kind of split, right? You've got insurance over here to protect your family, and then you've got investments over there to grow your money. This plan, it tries to do both at the same time. So yeah, let's dive in. All right, let's start with the basics. Before we get into all the nitty-gritty, let's just zoom out for a second. Get that big picture view. What is this thing anyway?
So, Protection Plus is something called a ULIP. That stands for Unit Linked Insurance Plan. And the most important word there? It's linked. Your money is literally linked to how investment funds perform in the market. You know, the best way to think about it is like a hybrid car. Part of it is the super reliable, safe family sedan. That's your insurance cover, your safety net. But the other part is that zippy electric motor designed for performance, and that's the investment side. So it's one single product trying to do two totally different jobs.
And this is the key idea to keep in your head through all of this. Every single time you pay a premium, that money gets split. A piece of it goes to pay for the life insurance part, the protection for your family if something happens, but the rest of it, usually the biggest chunk, gets invested in the market with the hopes that it'll grow over time.
Okay, on to Section 2, how your money actually works. So you've paid your premium, what happens next? Where does your money go? Let's trace it right from your bank account all the way into the market.
It's basically a four-step journey that makes this whole thing run. First, you pay your premium. Simple enough. Second, and this is important, some charges get deducted right away. We're going to talk more about those in a bit. Third, whatever money is left over is used to buy something called units in an investment fund. Just picture units as tiny little pieces of a giant investment pie. And fourth, the value of those units, your investment, changes with the market. It can go up, it can go down, all depending on how that fund is doing.
Now, how do you keep track of how much your investment is worth? Well, you need to know the NAV. That's the net asset value. It's just the price of a single unit on any given day, and it's calculated daily, kind of like a stock price. The math here is super simple. Take the number of units you own, multiply it by that day's NAV, and boom, that's the total value of your investment. Think of it as the daily report card for your money. And here's the thing. You don't just throw your money into some random one-size-fits-all fund. You get to choose. This plan has 6 different options, and they're all over the map in terms of risk. You can play it safe with something like the bond fund, which is low risk, or you could go all in with the Flexi growth fund, which is very high risk, but also has a higher potential for growth. It's totally up to you and how much risk you're comfortable with. So we've talked about how the money gets in and how it's supposed to grow. Now let's talk about the big payoffs. What happens at the end? There are really 2 main scenarios. What you get if you're still around when the policy ends, and what your family gets if you're not. This is all about the maturity and death benefits. And this slide perfectly shows you the 2 faces of this plan. First, the maturity benefit. That's your investment payout. If you outlive the policy term, you get the total value of your fund, whatever it's worth. Plus, they give you back some of the insurance charges. Now, the death benefit, this is that safety net we talked about. Your family gets a guaranteed payout, and it's the highest of 3 things. Either A, your basic life insurance amount, the sum assured, B, the actual value of your investment fund, or C, 105% of all the premiums you've ever paid. This is huge because it means they're protected even if the market has a bad day.
All right, let's talk about something that isn't always fun but is absolutely crucial: the charges. With any investment product, the fees can make a massive difference in how much money you end up with. To really get a handle on this, you have to know what's being skimmed off the top along the way.
Okay, let's really dig into this table, because this is where the devil is in the details. First up, you've got the premium allocation charge. This gets taken out of every single premium you pay. And wow, look at that. It's 8% in the first year. That's a serious chunk of your money that doesn't even make it to the investment. Then you've got the mortality charge. That's a monthly fee that pays for the actual life insurance part. And on top of all that, there are the ongoing fees, like fund management and policy admin, that are just kind of constantly there in the background, chipping away at your fund's value.
I want to zoom in on this one number for a second, 1.35%. That's the annual fund management charge. It's taken out of your total investment value every single year to pay the people managing the money. Now, 1.35% might not sound like a lot, but think about it. Over 20, 25 years, that can really add up and have a huge impact on your final payout. It's definitely a number you need to pay attention to. Okay, next section.
Your policy, your choices. See, this product isn't something you just buy and then stuff in a drawer for 20 years. It's actually designed to be pretty flexible. So let's check out the different ways you can take the wheel and steer this thing as your life evolves.
And you really do have some interesting options. For starters, you can move your money between those different investment funds. You get 4 free switches every year. After the first 5 years, which is a lock-in period, you can start taking out some money if you need it. You can also throw in extra cash through top-ups to boost your investment. You can even increase or decrease your life insurance coverage. So lots of levers you can pull.
And let's just look at those partial withdrawals for a sec. You can see it right here on the chart. In the first few years after the lock-in, say from year 6 to 10, you can pull out up to 15% of your fund's value. But as you hold the policy longer, that limit goes up, giving you more access to your money down the road.
You know, what this all comes down to is that this is not a set it and forget it kind of deal. All of these features, the fund switching, the withdrawals, adjusting your coverage, they're all there for a reason. This thing is really built for someone who wants to be hands-on, someone who's going to stay engaged and manage their policy as their life changes. And that brings us full circle, right back to where we started. We've pulled back the curtain on this thing, we know how it works, we know what the fees look like, and we know the kind of control you have over it. So the big question, the one you have to answer, is this. Does this blend of insurance and investment actually fit your financial strategy? Does it make sense for you? And that's really the main thing to think about.